Forgetting someone you truly loved isn't just hard. It's almost scientifically impossible. And today I want to tell you why. You know that feeling when you're just going about your day, making coffee, driving somewhere, maybe lying in bed at night, staring at the ceiling, and then out of nowhere, they pop into your head. A memory, a laugh, a moment you shared that you didn't even think you remembered. And suddenly your chest feels tight, like something's pulling at you from the inside. You tell yourself, I'm over this. I've moved on. But have you really? Here's the thing nobody really talks about. Forgetting someone you loved isn't just hard. It's one of the most painful things a human being can experience. Not because love is a weakness, but because love literally rewires your brain. Think about it. When you were with that person, everything felt more alive, right? Colors were brighter. Songs sounded better. Even the smallest things, like a good morning text, their laugh, the way they said your name, felt like they meant something. And now there's this silence, this gap where they used to be, and you're not just missing a person, you're missing a version of yourself that only existed when you were with them. That's what makes it so hard. You're not just grieving them, you're grieving who you were. And then comes the worst part, the overthinking. You start replaying conversations in your head. You analyze every little thing. What if I had said this differently? What if I'd stayed? What if they think about me too? You check their social media just to see, just once. But it's never just once, is it? You're not stalking, you're not obsessed, you're just trying to find some kind of closure that your brain never got. Because here's something painful but true. When a relationship ends suddenly or doesn't get proper closure, your mind doesn't stop processing it. It keeps running that loop over and over, looking for an answer that isn't there. And you end up living in this in-between space, not fully in the past, not fully in the present, just stuck. Hey, if this is hitting home for you right now, I just want to take a second and say, you're not alone in this. A lot of people are watching this right now, feeling the exact same way. If this video is speaking to something real in your life, hit that like button. It helps more people find this. And if you haven't subscribed yet, do it now, because what I'm about to share next, the psychology part, that's the piece that actually changed everything for me. So stay with me. I want to tell you something real. And this one thing took me a long time to understand. You don't miss them because you're weak. You don't overthink because something's wrong with you. You miss them because what you had was real, and real things leave marks. A scar doesn't mean you're broken. It means something happened, something that mattered. The problem isn't that you loved deeply. The problem is that your heart is still waiting for a resolution that your mind already knows isn't coming. And that gap in between what your heart wants and what your mind knows, that's where all the pain lives. But here's the shift. What if you stopped trying to forget them? What if, instead of fighting the memories, you just let them be there, not as something to chase, not as proof that you're broken, but as evidence that you are someone who loved fully, someone who felt deeply, someone who was brave enough to let someone in. That's not a flaw. That's one of the most human things about you. The goal was never to erase them. The goal is to carry the memory without letting it carry you. Okay, so here's what's actually happening inside your brain. When you fall in love with someone, and I mean really fall, your brain releases a chemical called dopamine. It's the same chemical that gets released when you eat something delicious, or win something, or feel really excited. That's why being in love feels so good, so addictive. But here's the problem. When that person is gone, your brain still expects that dopamine. It's like your mind got used to a certain kind of happiness, and now it keeps looking for it, keeps looking for them. This is called a dopamine loop, and it's why you can scroll through old photos for an hour without even realizing it. Then there's something called attachment. Humans are wired to attach, especially when we feel safe with someone, when we feel seen, when we feel like ourselves around them. That attachment doesn't just disappear when a relationship ends, it lingers. Sometimes for months, sometimes for years. And when you're emotionally dependent on someone, meaning a big part of your happiness, your stability, your identity was tied to them, losing them doesn't just feel like losing a person. It feels like losing a part of yourself. That's why the pain is so deep. That's why a simple song can send you right back to a moment from 2 years ago. Your brain stored those memories in a very specific way, attached to emotion. And emotional memories are the hardest to let go of. So here's what I want to leave you with. Stop measuring your healing by whether you think about them or not. That's not the right measure, because thinking about someone doesn't mean you haven't healed. It means you're human. The real question is, are those memories controlling your day? Are they stopping you from building something new? Are they keeping you from being present in your own life? If yes, that's what needs to change. Not the memories themselves, but the power you're giving them. Here's the truth about emotional maturity. It's not about being cold. It's not about not caring anymore. It's about being able to hold both things at once. That was real, that mattered, and I deserve something beautiful in the present too. You're allowed to miss someone and still choose yourself. Both things can be true. And one more thing, don't rush your healing. Don't compare your timeline to anyone else's. Some people take weeks. Some take years, and that's okay, because the depth of your grief is just proof of the depth of your love. And anyone who can love that deeply, they're not weak. They're actually one of the strongest people in the room.